Meanwhile, in Krakoa, in the hatchery...
Why, Betsy, something new about you, yeah? Different purple in the hair?
Can you please do something? He won't listen to any of us. These pods are supposed to remain sterile, and he's doing really gross stuff in there.
Oh my God, Jamie, you're back? You're alive?
Of course I'm back, little girl. Things are practically status quo again. What with you back to looking like Brian with eyelashes, what? It's like we're family again, back when it was good after Mom and Dad died. I mean, they were a bore, but when it was just us and Brian...
You know, you popped fresh out of that cocoon without a sin. You could have started all over and had to go and say something awful like that.
Bet. I only meant that it used to be good when we were kids.
How long has he been back?
It's only been a few hours. We give everyone time to recover, but usually they're ready to walk out of the pods in about 10 minutes tops. We've got other people that need to come through the hatchery, and he's made a huge mess.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 108 of Comic Book Queer's Legacy. Those were a few pages from Excalibur by Teenie Howard and Marcus Toe, which we will be talking about a little bit later. But in the meantime, I just want to say hello to my good friend, EvilJeff. Hello, Evil.
Hi, what's going on? It's been a while since I talked to you, Brett.
It has been a while. We took a little bit of a break, much deservedly so.
Yeah, we fucking deserve it, okay? So lay off, everybody.
We're giving you entertainment for free, so why don't you shut the fuck up?
Yeah, like maybe I needed a staycation, okay? Maybe I need a moment to maintain.
Anyway, speaking of anyway, we also have a very special guest with us this episode.
Oh.
I talk a lot about my straight friend Steve from the Inferior Men Podcast here on the Universe Head Network. He is here with us today because I'm hanging out with him now, and I had to record this episode. Hi, Steve.
Hi!
Yay! Steve is straight, so we'll be using him sparingly.
Yeah, it's great. I look forward to it, and I am a huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
Of Queer's Legacy.
Oh, I thought he was going to say comic books, but he meant us.
No, both.
Just of gays in general.
and I've never met EvilJeff, but I've always heard him on this podcast, so I feel like I've already known
you. That's lovely.
For so long.
Well, thank you.
Jeff, one time Steve texted me and said, if we hang out, do you think EvilJeff would like me?
I legit did.
I said, no.
I hate many of people. No, it depends on, if you like the X-Men, then I probably would like you.
And I do. And I love it.
There you go.
Brett knows that.
Who's your favorite X-Man?
So I am a Scott Summers top fan. I love Brew. I love Nightcrawler. I love many of them. But ever since hashtag Cyclops is Right came out, I've been enamored with Scott. Just for the fact that when I was a kid, everybody loved Wolverine. He was the bad boy. And the way that Marvel over the decades made Scott more of a badass than Wolverine has made me sink my teeth into Scott.
Okay.
He literally could have answered that with one fucking word.
Yeah.
He
went really hardcore to Scott. You had me with Scott Summers, but you lost me at Brew. So
I love Brew.
I hate Brew.
Baby Brew. That's fair enough.
You hate Brew? I didn't know that.
Oh, I've talked about that before. I hate him. I hate the whole Wolverine in the X-Men run. I hated
that's
it.
Fair.
And
that's
he
fair.
was a creation of that. I don't like the idea he's a mutant. Wait, what are they called again? Brood. He's a mutant brood. I'm like, no, just kill him.
Well, he's on Krakoa.
God.
He's officially on Krakoa.
So we have Steve here who's going to clearly take longer with his answers than I anticipated. But EvilJeff, I have a question for you.
Yeah?
What are you gonna pick?
Hot Topix. Oh,
We have got some hot topics, girl.
Ooh,
One of which, well, let's start with the
hot.
small one. Ooh,
Ouch.
lick. So Moon Knight and She-Hulk, both shows on the Disney Plus network, not a network, platform. They have found their head writers.
Are you getting Disney Plus?
I am. I've just signed
Okay.
up.
All right.
$70 for the year. I know you told us in previous shows that Joe, your boyfriend, if you can call him that. No, you can.
Yes, I can call him that.
Steve?
Oh, I have the same deal.
Oh, God. Forget it. We're founder circle bitches.
Yeah. There was that deal where you could get the free year.
Yeah, I didn't do
I
that.
didn't do that.
Well, we
didn't do
also
that.
have Hulu Live, so he got some kind of combo thing with that. But I'm not a part of it. Anyway, Moon Knight, who cares? She-Hulk, I'm interested.
Moon Knight, I care because it's going to be great.
Who's the writer on it?
Steve?
The head writer is the dude who did Umbrella Academy.
So.
Okay. Umbrella's
Okay,
Academy is,
all right.
but Umbrella Academy, it's tricky because Umbrella Academy, it's like, I guess he had good source material, and Moon Knight is garbage. Like, what do you?
Hey.
Ooh, what's the big? Who's the big bad for Moon Knight, or is he a bad? What's the?
You.
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
You are.
Yeah.
Me.
It's man versus himself.
Oh my God, can I be the big bad? Just like this gay
Literally.
ginger that's just like, you're boring.
It's
You're
literally
boring.
a character called EvilJeff.
I know, right? It's like, come on.
It's a character that goes, Moon Knight, you're basic. You're boring.
Yeah, basic.
Well, I'm intrigued with Moon Knight and which Moon Knight they're going to do. 'Cause there's
do
the
the-
Warren Ellis Moon Knight. and
Yeah.
There's everything before that.
Do the guy in the hood, the guy in
Yeah.
the suit, and the guy with the mask on.
Totally.
Do that. Also, She-Hulk, we've got the writer from
Is
the
it a
Pickle
woman?
Rick episode. It's a woman, and she's the writer of the Pickle Rick episode of Rick and Morty. So what are you
Well,
going to do?
that's going to be amazing. So there you go. Speaking
And-
of which, we're a little bit behind, but Rick and Morty is coming out tonight.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah, the new season premieres tonight. I mean, if you're
my
listening to this,
God.
it happened last Sunday.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah, so have you watched all of Rick and Morty?
I've never seen a minute of Rick and Morty.
Are you
even though
serious?
I've even played.
You just
fucking
said Pickle
Doc
Rick
Brown
like it
in
was
Back
your
to the
favorite
Future, the
episode.
musical. Because I know how to speak the language, girl.
Brett, you'd have to watch it.
You have to watch it.
It's so good.
For no other reason than Jessica Gao, who wrote Pickle Rick, not only is it like a deep episode, but also she has written like great choreography, like fight choreography.
Yeah,
And so
that's
why
true.
you know that she's in like good hands with like She-Hulk. She'll have that balance.
Wow, look at the straight guy talking about
I
shit.
mean, I'm into it. I'm into Jessica Gao. I'm glad it's not like Justin Roiland. Like when I saw the headline of like Rick and Morty head writer is going to be She-Hulk, I was like, is this Dan Harmon or Roiland? And I was relieved to know that it was Jessica.
No, we needed a woman writing She-Hulk.
Yeah, hell yeah, 100%.
I'm here for that. That both sounds promising. I have a feeling that if we could be, what is Shayna? Is it Zaina? Who's from the Wonder Twins? What's her name?
Zan and Jaina. I say this every
Jaina.
week.
Jaina. I want to combine them. It's like, anyway, Jaina, if we like turned into a fly like Jaina and went into Netflix headquarters, I think they're all on the verge of suicide. I think they're just like, fuck. Like, how are they? I think Disney's going to take them down.
Oh, fuck yeah. I only want to watch Disney Plus and maybe HBO because of Watchmen.
I have a feeling that slowly, I think Amazon and Disney are going to buy all of them. Like, I think Amazon's going to take like HBO Max, and then like someone else is going to take, and then Disney will take Peacock. I feel like they're all going to buy them all out, and then they'll just be two. That's my prediction.
Yep.
What other hot topics do you have?
Yeah, good. Here's one company that fucking Disney will never get their grubby little mousy hands on. Dimension Films, because they're coming out. EvilJeff, sit down.
What?
They just announced Scream 5. And I don't think it's a reboot. I think we're picking up. That's what you sound like?
Well, when it's unexpected.
Oh.
But when I'm planning it and I know it's going to happen, That sounds different.
I've been planning to come for the last month.
Shit. You haven't come in a month?
No, I have. I came this morning.
I was like, I don't believe that at all.
Scream 5. Here's why I hate it. Because I don't want... What?
Is the whole cast going to be in it?
We have no idea. We don't know, but of course they are. Here's the thing. If you dare to harm a hair on the heads of Gail, Sydney, or Dewey, I will fucking riot.
You can't kill them.
The ship has sailed.
You can't kill them.
You cannot kill them.
So if they kill them, I have a feeling some idiot's going to be like, the opening murder is Dewey. And it's like, no, you can't.
They've already lived. They already have calluses. Like, you can't. It's going to open with fucking Gale Weathers. Like, Gale Weathers is going to be the opening fucking murder, isn't it? Isn't she? That's
the thing is, like, if that's what you're going to do 4 movies and then just have her get killed in the very beginning. No, they are the 3 survivors. Like, that's how that movie works. And I think that's the problem is I think people are going to be like, no, Scream 4 didn't work, so we need to do something different. And where I will say, no, Scream 4 did work, and Scream 4 is amazing. And the only thing I'm sad about is that, wait, because Emma Roberts, she did die. I mean, spoilers. She did die at the end, right?
Yeah, but she's the killer.
I know, but that's what I mean is I even want her back. She was the perfect. I loved all of that.
Hell yeah. She's the number 2 killer behind Debbie Salt, behind Laurie Metcalf's Debbie Salt.
Is she your number 1?
Yes! Is she not your number 1?
I like the original Billy Loomis.
Billy Loomis?
Yeah.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
Well, not him and
Debbie
what's his
Salt.
name? And Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
Matthew Lillard.
God, zoinks.
Oh, come on. Laurie Metcalf, that was more funny than, like, good.
Oh, that was amazing.
You killed my son. Roseanne!
Is that a disparaging remark about my Billy?
Dan! I was just waiting for her to say lines from Roseanne. Speaking of Laurie Metcalf, wait, you're in New York. You live in New York. You need to go. Laurie Metcalf is starring in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf on Broadway.
Get the fuck out. How do you know that and I don't?
Because I know everything, except the Scream thing that you just told me that I didn't know anything about.
Here's the thing. I'm holding my breath for Scream 5. And if I'm holding my breath, do you know what that means I'm doing?
You're losing oxygen to your brain?
Shoop, 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 shoop-a-doop, shoop, shoop-a-doop.
Oh, it's time to start talking about some X-Men. And we're behind. We have 3 to talk about. So
we have 3 fucking X-Men books.
We can't go crazy, Brett. We need to kind of stay on schedule.
How do we not?
We need to stay on
schedule.
All right, well,
let's start with the one we did a dramatic reading of at the top of the show. I'm talking about Excalibur number 1.
Excalibur!
Hey, fellow sorcerers. It's me, Apocalypse, your fellow Marvel Universe sorcerer. What's up, buddies?
His name's not Apocalypse. His name is...
Every time we refer to Apocalypse on the show, we have to call him.
I want him to do a scene with Iceman, and then Iceman giggles because he's just like, that's the sound of me deep-throating a guy. Like, I want that.
It's sound of me gargling dick.
Oh my god.
What did you think of Excalibur number 1?
I love Betsy, but I had issues. I like Jamie coming back, but then there was plot lines where I'm like, that's dumb.
You don't like fantasy stuff?
I do like fantasy stuff, but here's my thing. Where's Roma?
She's probably in a prison somewhere.
Where's the Captain Britain Corps? No, because that other world seemed like a whole different place. Where's Berlin?
Hey, sweetie, literally.
Where's the Captain Britain Corps?
It's clear that this is picked up after Morgan Le Fay has already pulled shit to take over Otherworld. We should be asking these questions.
Well, I want to see some Easter eggs revealing that. Right now, I feel like she's ignoring the Captain Britain lore and just starting her own thing.
Well, here's the thing. The White Witch that we all keep hearing about, you know damn well that's Saturnine, right?
Oh,
that's Opaluna, Saturnine.
Right, if that happens, then I will be happy about that.
It's absolutely Saturnine. They're going to get to Roma and Saturnine and all that.
Get to it.
Steve here is pointing at a figure.
Yeah.
who, when Betsy decides to go through the Krakoa portal, Steve, there is somebody who is looking like they don't want to go through the Krakoa portal. Who's that?
Well, you're a big fan of them. You were the one who pointed this out.
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm giving you your moment.
Yeah. No, I don't remember.
Oh, it's Pete Wisdom.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see? Are you looking at that panel where Pete Wisdom is just chilling? It is right after. It's like as Betsy and Brian are leaving Brian's house after they say goodbye to Megan and Baby.
Okay.
There is just a Pete Wisdom just chilling, just being like, "I'm not going to that island, mates."
So he doesn't go?
No, he's like, he's arms crossed. He's looking very defiant.
I wonder, what was the last time we saw Pete Wisdom?
When he was banging Kitty until she was 18.
No. There was that MI6. That was
X-Force,
after that, right?
MI6. Yeah, the MI6 with Excalibur and Spitfire. Yeah.
Interesting. You know what? I would love Kitty Pryde to be forced to go on a mission with like Pete Wisdom, Iceman, Colossus, like all of her exes. But then she's the leader, so she has to.
But also,
Star-Lord, yeah, and she has to like boss all of them around, and then they all start talking about like, oh my god, don't you hate it? Like if you do this when you go down on her, and then they all start exchanging sex stories. But then Iceman's like, I don't know, I didn't do any of that, and then she's like, guys, we need to go to battle, come on, and they're like, whatever.
And then you find out Rachel's reading their minds and taking notes.
Why? Because you're saying Rachel wants to do Kitty.
Yeah, man.
Do you think she wanted to do her even when she was underage? But I guess she was underage too. Wasn't she underage when she first came aboard? How old was she? Remember thigh high leg warmer?
Yeah.
Rachel Summers. Who designed?
Yeah, John Romita. Rachel.
Who designed that outfit? Who was like, you know what her costume is going to be? Thigh high leg warmers. Thanks, 80s.
Thanks, God. 80s gay artist.
All right, so
John Romita.
Excalibur. We find out Apocalypse is now trying to go by a weird name that no one can pronounce or read.
Like in the native Krakoan tongue.
And the writers clearly made that through line because somebody who asked him to call them another name and he does it right away. Like it's definitely a thing that is through this.
Like new identities, like new culture, new language, new identities. I love that Rogue actually immediately calls him by the Krakoan language without even hesitating. Like even Trinary's like, okay, yeah, whatever, boy. But Rogue's like, I got you. She's like, I got you, boo. I got you.
It's that southern charm.
I think wait. We need to agree on what should we say that is?
Do we like that?
All right, I like that. Okay. So anyway, Gambit is not happy about.
He's not happy because he used to be deaf and his power was farts. And he was like, you gave me a shitty power when I was deaf.
Was his power farts?
Yeah, that was his power. It was like
I didn't read any of that shit when that happened. What happened?
It was garbage. He literally farted green gas, and that was his death power. It was so
I have a question. Have you ever watched the Pete Holmes X-Men sketches?
Yeah.
Pete Holmes?
Yeah. He was like Professor Xavier.
He was Professor Xavier, and he's basically like firing the X-Men. Yeah. Like in each episode is a different X-Men. Like so, there's one with Gambit. I never saw this. It's the guy from Silicon Valley plays Gambit, and he's just like, "Your powers are dumb. Oh, you're going to touch a card." He's like, "What do you do when you run out of cards?" And he's like, "I could have some change in my pocket." He's like, "You're fired."
What was it? Was it a recent episode or issue where Gambit had a can of beans and he threw the can of beans and he was like, "Oh damn!" He's like, "I should carry cans of beans instead of cards."
Yeah.
Oh, Gambit.
Gambit is the first point of friction since Krakoa.
He is like the tension.
First, he's the first. Like, I don't agree with somebody else that's on Krakoa. Besides, like Apocalypse hanging out in the bushes and like being all like pouty about Xavier and Magneto, Gambit is the first one who's just like, hey, I'm going to get in your face about disagreeing with you. And I think that's interesting. I think they planted the seed right there.
Apocalypse is also he's like the Merlin. He's like, we need a Merlin. Who's going to be our Merlin? Oh, how about Agagaga?
Okay, so here's the deal. There's a portal that's open to Otherworld, and they can't get through it. But did Krakoa naturally grow it, or did they? You know what I mean? How did that portal show up?
It's a good question. I was wondering the same thing.
It showed up on the Otherworld side first.
But that's the thing is, how did the Krakoan seed get in that was it in a pond, in a well? It's like a well.
Yeah, and
how did it get in that well?
Scrying waters.
Who put it in the well?
We'll find out. Probably Agagaga.
I don't know.
Oh, probably Saturn. Oh, no, probably Saturnine. But also these data pages that read like ancient texts. The one with the O and the X and the so above, so below. Lord knows I read that 6 times and I was like, I still don't get it.
Yeah,
but I think they're suggesting that like this Excalibur crew is like a coven. Essentially, like you just need 4 people for a coven.
Yeah. Let's call the 4 corners.
Let's call the corners, shall we?
Come on, Firuza Balk. I want Firuza Balk's character from the Craft. Can the Craft be merged into Marvel?
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
I've always wanted to watch that TV show too. Anyway, I love that there's a horror TV show with teenagers called Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board.
I love it.
Anyway,
so then we get Jamie Braddock, who's rubbing his dick on a resurrection pod.
Yes, and then Betsy is just super pissed because Jamie is. All right, this is my thing. So why are they're not cool with resurrecting Destiny? But they're cool with resurrecting people that can literally warp reality and that are schizophrenic.
No future
Moira's
people.
Responsible for that. Moira won't allow Destiny to be resurrected.
Yes, but don't you think it's crazy to resurrect an Omega level mutant with reality warping powers that is also schizophrenic? Can't they just get rid of the schizophrenia when they resurrect them?
Especially when the 2 siblings are like, "Why the fuck did you do that?"
Yeah. And he's like, oh, but that's Jamie's like, I believe in mutants. I don't want to see any fucking humans again. Fuck humans. So he was like, fuck my brother. He was like, fuck my brother. Fuck Brian. Why is Brian?
And then Rogan Gambit. He should be.
Yeah.
He's very much an X character. He should be. And then Rogan Gambit are like, let's have babies.
And then Jubilee's like, hey, what's going on? You just walked past me. Oh, that's how I got involved in the plot. That was the other thing that I was pissed off about.
You just walked past me.
And now, like, Jubilee saw Betsy. Let's bring her into the team. No.
She saw her.
That's the dumbest
on the island of hundreds of
reason ever. Give her some sort of purpose. Ugh.
But I do think it's interesting that Rogue and Gambit had that question because if one of the laws is make more mutants, like
these 2 are ripe for
right. Can Rogue do that? And she would be the perfect one to like be like one of the first, even though it's already been established.
I say you put a condom on, fuck her through a sheet, and poke a hole in your condom.
Yeah, that would work. But then, can a baby be in her? Right?
Yeah, it's her skin.
It is her skin. That is true. Just don't touch her when she comes out. Right?
Put on a condom on the baby. Cover the baby in a condom.
All right, this is going off the rails. I thought of something about the resurrection.
What?
Have they established, let's say, can you, when you get old, and let's say you're like, I'm not going to die, but I can barely walk. I have like arthritis. I'm starting to get Alzheimer's. I'm not remembering things. Can you ask, like, can you murder me and just resurrect me and then don't age me all the way?
I feel like if people are dying and getting old, like, you shouldn't bring them back.
They're going to bring them back. No, everyone's immortal now. No. When
people are past 40, though.
No, I think no. So you're saying that you think when they're trying to make more mutants. You're saying that when someone reaches old age and dies, they just let them die. No.
It's the circle.
No.
Why not? That's natural life.
Because guess what? The most important thing for them is the Omega level mutants. So they're just going to let the ones when all those people that are resurrecting die, we're just going to let them die.
I'm sure more will be born.
No,
you can't
resurrect them.
You can't cheat like the natural course. Like, yeah, you could do something about the genocide, but I'm saying why not do something because ethics. Jeff.
Ethics? The X-Men don't have ethics right now. What are you talking about?
How dare you?
No, I agree with you, Jeff.
They have ethics.
I think they're going to explore that.
They said kill no human. They have ethics.
And they're not going to let any mutant die. They want to increase the numbers at any cost. They're not going to let any mutant die.
But they're not going to do that at the cost of natural biological life.
They're
not going to cheat.
Listen,
they're not going to cheat. They're just going to prevent from the humans.
Are you a Trump supporter? What is this?
No, you're the one being Trump.
Messing with God. Listen, Mr. Look, I'm there for stem cells and
you're
for
Trump.
Letting people live forever. Why would they not let people live forever? I'm Trump.
They're just trying to do good by people.
No, I agree. I think if there was an Omega level mutant and they grew old, they would definitely bring them back. I think they would definitely repopulate mutants in a way where they would overpopulate Earth over humans.
You shouldn't do that.
Well, that's going to be like a moral crossroads that they're going to have to.
But that's why I think they're going to do a comic on the 5, and I think that shit's all going to be in it.
Yeah,
it's going to open with like Karma is going to come in. She's like, "Hi, I'm going to blow my brains out, and then I want you to give me a body that has 2 fucking legs again." And they're like, "No, you're not. You don't really need it." And she's like, "Fuck you! I'm going to blow my brains out."
My body still has loose skin from that Shadowkin.
Oh yeah, she's like, "Look at these stretch marks when I used to be obese because of the fucking Shadow King."
You know what? I'm just glad that one comic book didn't leverage the trope of Rogue used her powers and was overwhelmed in some way. Oh, wait, it did.
Yeah.
And now she's in a Sleeping Beauty coma.
She's like, what?
That is the dumbest thing. That's okay. That was problem like number 20. Like, that was stupid. Other problem I have is the bad guys in it. Those like little like hedge witches or whatever.
Yeah, the hedge witches.
Who are you? I don't care who you are. They should have made someone like, where's Amanda Sefton? I want someone like recognizable.
Oh, she's coming.
They should have had someone recognizable.
Let me ask you this though, Psylocke fan.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Betsy Braddock now that you've seen her as Captain Britain? How are you feeling?
I don't know if she fully gets her yet. How she's written.
Okay.
Because the thing about Betsy, this is the thing that I want to see, is when she always wanted to be the fighter. Remember back in the 80s when everyone got their greatest wish and she just became like a warrior? And then so when she became Ninja Psylocke, she embraced that dark side, and that's when she joined X-Force. Like she's a murderer. Like she kills people. And so I'm interested in now that she's back to that where people maybe expect her to be the old Psylocke. But that murdering badass, she's still there, and right now it feels very British Psylocke. Oh, I'm proper. But she's not proper. So I want that Psylocke to come back. But I'm cool with her being Captain Britain.
Yeah, me too. That wrist lock on Jamie was my favorite moment of the book because it showed that she's still ninja badass.
Yeah, she's not afraid of
the moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now it's suffering from a problem that a lot of television sitcoms have where the lead character is kind of the least developed for me.
Yeah, like Archie on Riverdale.
Yeah.
Who is now, by the way, a superhero, a vigilante.
In Riverdale? Like a masked vigilante? That show is insane. Is his costume topless?
No, it's all black.
Ugh.
I know. Stupid. Speaking of topless, how about New Mutants?
New Mutants.
This is Hickman with Ed Brisson, who EvilJeff and I have a love-hate relationship with.
Why do I hate him?
Yeah. Don't we hate him? What do we hate him for? Am I thinking of Charles Soule?
Charles Soule, yeah. No, Ed Brisson did Uncanny. We love that.
Yeah, we love it.
New Mutants is fun. I will ask this. Did you feel that was Corsair? Was he acting out of character, or was he always that shitty?
He was definitely acting out of character.
Oh, I think we've taken this opportunity to redefine certain characters. Like,
okay, all right. I just want to make sure. I'm like, was he always like literally this much of a
Corsair,
dick?
Yeah.
No, it's Corsair under Hickman's pen.
Okay,
for sure.
All right.
It's like how Emma under Grant Morrison's pen was like, yeah, this is just like one aspect of them turned up to 11.
I kind of
But
like
Corsair
it.
under Hickman's pen wasn't a dick in X-Men 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a difference between...
Well, he's dealing with kids that he doesn't know versus...
Well, that's
his
also because
son.
he was talking to his son, so he's probably trying to be on his best
Yeah.
behavior.
That's true. Yeah.
it's kids, Havoc, and
But I do feel that the person that was still felt the same to me, well, I guess because he wrote him too, of how he evolved with Sunspot. I like that it's kind of like, it's like Sunspot, Magic, and Mirage. If you noticed, all of them are kind of like, think they're the leader.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've all realized that they all think each other. I want that to come to a head where someone's like, as the leader of the group, and then the other two being like, you're not the leader of the group, I'm the leader of the group.
Right. And it's funny because Sunspot was like US Avengers, right? Like he was like real big shit.
Like he was big time. But then Magic is in charge of one of the whole combat units.
Yeah.
And Danny Moonstar is like a Scott Summers certified X-Men.
She's a fucking Valkyrie. She's a goddamn Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Well, they bring her up in the Valkyrie series. They actually say she's not. She's a part-timer and therefore doesn't count.
Oh shit! She got demoted.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, if you're not going to commit, if you're not going to go in all the way into our pyramid scheme of Valkyriedom, you're out.
So I got to tell you, New Mutants is my favorite of all the Dawn of X books so far.
Even more than Marauders.
Yeah. Yes.
It definitely has the really good like banter between all of them.
It uses comedy the best, like the fourth wall and the time slips and the callbacks. Like it is just the most perfectly crafted dialogue I've seen in any book so far.
The Mondo Krakoa scene was
incredible.
Like it stays in my head out of any moment in any Dawn of X book.
Because Dougie is the best.
Yeah. It was just like weird for the right reasons, and it was so funny. Krakoa just being like, I don't like this. I'm leaving. I hate this.
Yeah, that was great.
My favorite part was Danny, like as soon as Roberto left, Danny was like, okay, let's get on that Shi'ar ship. And they teleport behind his back. And then when he comes to save them, Danny looks at him and goes, we never should have left the ship. That is so funny. So funny.
Yeah, I love that he just made up a crazy
so
religion where they would torture and murder and shoving things up people's genitals. And he was just making that up.
Mm-hmm. And it got me excited for Sam Guthrie.
Yeah.
It got me very excited to see Sam Guthrie. I don't know. This one felt like putting on an old, like your favorite sweater.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. I loved it.
It was fun. What did you think of X-Force?
X-Force, like, I was surprisingly, like, this feels like old hat X-Men.
Yeah.
This feels like pre-Hickman X-Men a little bit. What did you think?
You're saying that in a bad way?
Not in a bad way, not in a good way. Of just like, this one feels like it's kind of steeped in the old way of thinking. I don't know. But it's very much about Krakoa and sovereignty and
my thing is, I feel like it really put the X-Men, I don't know, I felt like it made them all seem like rank amateurs. They've planned so much things, but not only that, you didn't think that people would do attacks from the sky.
Right.
You didn't think that would happen. You didn't have any preparation of like some kind of like Star Wars technology to shoot things out of the sky. You didn't think that was because also, do you remember Life? What Life number was it? Like number 5, like 5? Yeah, where they had an island and the Sentinels came and nuked the whole island. They didn't think like that might happen again.
Well, we're in the age of not listening to Moira because we know better, right, Xavier?
Well, and I think that's a good point because they established in one of those data pages that there was pollen in the air that would detect air assaults. But then in typical X-Men pre-Hickman form, no one was listening to Black Tom Cassidy. And that is such a mistake to EvilJeff's point of like amateur X-Men to not listen to somebody that you appointed as that position.
Exactly.
And Xavier's like, no, it's all fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
especially for him.
Yeah.
Black Tom's my takeaway.
So a bunch of people got shot up
in the heads.
And it looks like, I think Domino was murdered.
Well, yeah, because I texted Steve and said, are they wearing her skin? Like when they took their clothes off, they had like weird white stripes on them.
Oh, I think
like,
that
are
is
we
what
doing
it
a
is.
thing where they skinned her and her skin is actually the source of her luck power and they used her luck power to get in there?
Maybe. Or maybe they're just fucking psychos, gross people. But
why is
so now we
Xavier
already
helpless?
we have to resurrect 2 people already. It's one comic.
Already. I'm excited though to see
because Xavier is shot in the face.
Yeah. In House of X, they said they talked about the backups and the servers and the redundancies.
Okay,
I want to get there.
Who is the person using Cerebro to back up Xavier? Is it Jean?
Right. Well, and it's shot.
It's Jean.
Well, it's definitely Jean, but they put a bullet hole in that helmet. And isn't that...
So they need another helmet.
Well, Forge can make that.
Forge will do it.
Forge can do anything. But actually, no. But remember, there's 5. Aren't there 5 different backup Cerebros?
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm sure each one has its own helmet.
Yeah. I'd say if I'm going to be a basic bitch and rank, I would go New Mutants, Excalibur, X-Force. If I were to introduce Marauders and X-Men into it, I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay to have more than one favorite.
That's true.
Damn. Oh, X-Men. Next week we got Fallen Angels. What's Psylocke doing? Who we still don't know what's her name because she's like no name. She's like, I'm not Quanon. Who are you?
I'm Psylocke. I hear Bill the Lobster is going to be in that book.
I hated I hated those lobsters.
Why? What the fuck is what?
Fallen Angels was bad. You made me read it and it was awful.
I know, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's horribly. I want to rewrite it now.
And then where's Multiple
dialogue.
Man? Where's Madrox?
Where isn't he?
Talk about somebody who could be on multiple teams. Come on.
Thank you.
Anyway, last thing about X-Men is the preview for next week's X-Men. Let's talk about that really briefly.
Rachel is referred to as Prestige still. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Oh my God. I would love it where it's like that one day. Okay, so Prestige goes, because he's basically like, well, my 2 kids. He's like, do my 2 kids want to go on like what does he say? Like a killing mission? What does he say?
Yeah.
And it's his 2 kids giving this little smile, killing monsters, because it looks like the other half of the island they're coming together.
Araco.
Yeah. And then Prestige, I just want her to die on this mission. And then it cuts to a scene with the council. And they're just like, okay, I propose we can lose 1 mutant and we don't bring her back because she's from the future and the future's
she's
dumb.
from a different dimension.
So she doesn't really count. And then Nightcrawler would be like, well, we broke up, so I don't care. And then Jean is going to be like, yeah, there's only room for like 1 redhead. So I don't care. And then Emma's going to be like, her outfit is awful, so I don't care. And they're just going to vote for her to stay dead.
Yeah, and then Moira's going to be like, she's from Life 4 anyway. And people are going to be like, oh my God, really? That's so fascinating. Way to tie everything together.
And then they'll be like, wait a minute, who are you? And I thought you were dead. Because none of them know she's alive.
And she's going to be like, oh, that's right. Sorry, I'm at
She's
your
like, oh,
first
shit.
burn.
And then she'll take out a machine gun and murder all of them. And she's like, Xavier, just rehatch them without those memories.
Just kill me. And then she'll kill herself and be like, oh, I'll figure it out.
She's like, oh, let me start this over.
They're like, aren't you Moira McTaggart? She's like, no, I'm Rose Byrne. I'm playing Medea in Brooklyn right now.
She
It's
played
true.
Medea in what?
In Brooklyn. In
Oh.
the theater in Brooklyn. Yeah.
No, it'd be funny if Moira was like, "Hey, I want you all to do this thing," and they're like, "No." She's like, "Well, if you don't do it, I'll blow my brains out.
Okay.
I'll blow my brains out, and we're gonna start all over, and I'll make sure you aren't part of
I'll blow my
it."
brains out. Oh my god! Every issue, I want more to be like, if you don't do it, I'll blow my brains out.
Do you know what I'm referencing?
No, what is that?
Whoopi Goldberg and Jumping Jack Flash.
Oh,
Because they're just like,
oh my god!
because the spies are like, shoot her in the leg. She's like, no, don't shoot. You know, he's like, we need information from her. Just shoot her in the leg. She's like, no, don't shoot me in the legs. If you shoot me in the legs, I'll blow my brains out. And she's like walking away with a gun in her mouth.
In a big silver box.
That movie is amazing.
Terrible. I've seen that movie so many times when I was a kid. I love it so much. I watched it recently, and I was like, this movie is so bad.
It doesn't hold up as good, but I still love it. The fact when she's trying to get the words to Jumping Jack Flash, and there's like, I was raised by two lesbians. Mick, fuck a duck. Come on, that is brilliant. Okay, anyway.
Can I write KGB on the cake? No,
KGB, K motherfucking GB.
Hey, that's Annie Potts in that movie.
Yes.
And we're gonna talk about one of her sistren from Designing Women in a little bit.
Okay, yeah. I think, are we done with the X-Men? Fuck you, X-Men.
We are. Fuck you, X-Men. You're great.
All right, well, we read the X-Men, but I do have a question for you, Brett and Steve.
Yes.
What have you read for me lately?
Ooh, yeah.
Well, we've gone way too over, so we're just going to talk about one book.
One book.
So you want to know about Superman, the Avengers, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man? Fuck you. We're not doing any of that.
You're not going to hear about those folks here.
We're going to talk about, that's right, The Magicians has a new limited series coming out. And I decided to read it, and I told Brett to read it because Brett loves The Magicians. I think this is based on the books, but it's kind of like a fresh start. It's starting completely over. So it's not like you really need to know the differences between the books and the TV show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's a very kind of 101 approach. Yes, it's a different crew, but they lean into kind of the more basic aspects of the Magician's mythology. Hedge witches, break bills as a school.
Yeah.
Stuff that I feel the show has kind of moved away from. This is very much like a season 1 depiction of the Magicians.
And you do realize that by the time this comic book ends, in a couple of weeks after that, the new season of Magicians will start, Brett.
Yeah.
January 2020. Are you excited?
I'm very excited. What did you feel about the comic book?
I actually liked it. I like this idea where it's like they're finally bringing the hedge witches into break bills, and then they force, and apparently there's clearly some kind of looming threat because they take the hedge witches and their top 3 break bill students. They're like, we're going to teach you battle magic. You're not allowed to. We're pretending that's not what you're doing, but you need to learn how to make weapons and be on defense. And then they're all like, and I liked the characters too. What did you think? Because is it the one hedge witch is a trans character, right?
Yes, and I like that a lot. I like the diversity and the representation amongst the hedge witches, and I like that they're juxtaposed with the more traditional, dare I say, white privileged break bill students, and they're all on the same team.
And they decide to have a magic off, being like, well, it's like, let me show you think, we hedge witches don't know anything. Let's have a magic off. And they do. And at the end of the comic, the girl from Break Bills lets a spell get out of control, sets herself on fire, and is killed.
Yeah. So do we think she became a Niffin?
No, I think because a Niffin, you'd see the spirit of it. And that's blue. This was just fire. I think, and she was just a charred corpse. I think she's just dead.
I hope so.
Why do you hope so?
I don't know. She was fine.
I
just like, you've got like the kind of like privileged break bill students perspective on the hedge witches, which is something we always saw in Magicians of how lower class the hedge witches are, but here it's really brought to the fore that they're considered garbage.
Yeah.
But they're very powerful. So I mean, this book I'm in because of the contradiction or the juxtaposition between the students and the alleyway witches.
Because isn't the whole, I mean, I read the first book and that's all Brakebills and Quentin and all of them. Isn't the second book the hedge witches? And what?
I have no idea.
What's
like
her name?
more Marina?
What's it, Julia?
Julia, Marina. Yeah.
I think that second book is all of them. And then the third book
Magicians went book, TV, now comic.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
And all the books were written before the show.
Yes.
Wow.
And the books and the show diverge.
Got it.
At a per usual.
And the show
it's
is
nice
amazing.
it's nice to what I like about this book is I've never read the Lev Grossman books. What I like about the comic book is that it kind of elevated the Magician's mythology for me. It was like, hey, you know this thing from the TV? Okay, we're gonna take pieces of it and make it a different thing. And like it kind of legitimizes and expands the Magician's mythology, a mythology I love. So it's nice.
The character design is amazing.
Yeah, very diverse characters. Oh, speaking of diverse characters, the Dean Fogg depiction really threw me for a loop. Dean Fogg is like this big fat white guy.
Yeah. Was he always
and
a white
show,
guy in the show?
I guess in the books that's what he is, but in the show they cast him differently.
I always think once you diversify, don't try to go back.
No, I know. Like, and now any subsequent depictions of Dean Fogg should be the African American silver spoon kind of Dean Fogg.
Yeah, all Hermione's.
It's weird to see
all Hermione's from Harry Potter have to be black now.
Correct.
My niece and my sister just saw The Cursed Child, and they're in New York right now.
Get the fuck out of here! Do you know my sister refuses to see it?
Why?
Because of Black Hermione.
What? Because of that?
Yep.
So your sister's racist?
Yep. A little.
Okay.
Is it ever established in the books what race she is?
No, it just says that it just talks. I mean, it just talks about how she has like very super like frizzy hair.
Right.
I mean, I guess that's racist if she is black then. Anyway, racism. Okay.
The Magician. So, hey, racism.
Speaking of which,
I think that segues into our next segment.
Let's
where we will critical, come on, critical.
Watchmen.
Watchmen.
Now, granted, we're reading this
segment.
We're reading this. We're doing this podcast before episode 4, so we are
3 has been out for a minute.
To that, but goddamn, 3. It finally is like I think free. 3 is where it really gets cooking. What do you think?
3 is where it gets cooking for a gay fan like us because Silk Spectre is played by Laurie. What was her name in the book? Jupesic. Laurie Jupesic.
Sure.
She now goes by Laurie Blake, and she's now played by Jean Smart.
Do you know how many times I was telling people how awesome this episode was? I'm like, Jean Smart. And everyone's like, who's Jean Smart?
It was incredible.
No one knows who Jean Smart is.
Steve, who's Jean Smart?
Well, the actress that played Laurie Blake.
What else is she in?
I don't think I remember.
Oh God, straight guy.
Did you not see Legion?
Legion?
No, I did see Legion.
Melanie.
Oh yeah. But wait, name another movie that she was in.
Designing Women.
And she was also the crazy president's wife
24?
in 24.
Oh yeah.
24.
She was so good in that.
Yeah, I've never paid attention to her.
See,
she was the Richard Nixon wife, like the guy that looked like Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
And then she betrayed him at the end and was a good guy.
I love Jean Smart because she played like the ditz, and now she's just like the badass. And I loved her in Legion.
She was the ditz.
She was so great.
She was the weakest designing woman, and now she is the strongest designing woman.
I mean, her line of like, he's not a hero, he's a fucking joke was so powerful in this fucking episode after taking down that like Batman guy.
Speaking of joke, how about the fact that she's telling jokes to
So great.
Dr. Manhattan on the weird Mars phone that they
Yeah.
set up? And to me, I was like, oh, is she the new comedian? Yoink yoink.
Right.
What,
And one of
do you-
those jokes was about Dr. Manhattan.
And about all of them. About all four of
But
them.
wait, but that would mean, do you think she is secretly a vigilante? Because I think she's like really soured on the whole vigilante thing.
No, I don't. I think she is very much anti, and I love that that's where they took Silk Spectre. See, this show interprets the Watchmen correctly. Like Rorschach imagery is piece of shit, racist, jerk-off imagery. Silk Spectre absolutely would want nothing to do with any of that shit.
Well, and she's using the logic of Dr. Manhattan, who she loved so much. And to have that kind of like, especially at the funeral scene, where she just shoots the guy, it's like, of course you would. Like, get him out of the way and then deal with whatever the hell he has strapped to him.
Also,
I thought that was like great.
did she really need to push the coffin over it to explode?
Well, I
Yeah.
thought that was like blocking it.
Yeah, blocking
Blocking it, or did it just shoot his body parts and coffin everywhere? Sorry
Oh
about your
my God.
husband, lady. He's now a million
was his name?
pieces.
What was his name in Miami Vice? Crockett?
Or Tubbs. Yeah, Crockett.
Crockett or Tubbs? Just Crockett and Tubbs everywhere.
Who dropped the car? Was it Dr. Manhattan or was it Night Owl? Who dropped the car?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
Or
Because there's people who have been telling me that it was Dr. Manhattan, and I was like, that's so strange if it was.
well, I think
Like, I
Gene
would
Smart
get it.
seemed to think it was.
She laughed at
The
as if it was a
star.
response to her call to Dr. Manhattan.
But I
Maybe it
was
was.
like, here's my thing: is I was like, I want. What's the name? The White Knight. What's her name? Georgina King's name.
Sister Knight.
Sister Knight. I was like, I want Sister Knight and Gene Smart to team up.
Oh,
because
we're gonna get there.
No, but right now the thing that's even better is they hate each other. And
Yes.
that scene where Gene Smart goes off on her and then fucking Regina King just looks at her and just goes, ooh. Scared.
That was my favorite moment.
That was
of the
so
show.
amazing. I was like,
Ooh.
yeah, it was just like, bitch, try me. But it is
Because honestly, like Silk Spectre was always kind of a joke to me. Like she was always like a really bad.
But here's
costumed
something
Avenger.
that I'm thinking: what's Crockett? What's Don Johnson, Dakota Johnson's dad?
Yeah.
Who was the hero in when they showed a part of the TV show that had like a
Yes.
hood over his head with the rope and was
That
killing
is-
everybody?
He's a Minuteman.
Yeah, so he was in the graphic novel. That's Hooded Justice. He was the one in the graphic novel was alluded to that he was gay, actually.
Could that be? Was that definitely a KKK outfit, or could that have been like a hero hooded justice outfit? Or am I just trying? Hopefully.
Oh, I think that was KKK.
So you think he secretly was bad the whole time?
You know what? No, I think he was KKK, and I think he was reformed.
I thought it was like a double agent thing.
But here's the thing.
Oh, interesting.
If you've reformed, you're not going to keep a secret closet with your KKK uniform on a statue.
True. That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because like he might have kept it because he might have needed it again in the future.
But it does
and
make
he wasn't
sense.
Using it.
Yeah, it does make sense of why the cavalry didn't kill him.
Right.
Because he was secretly on their side.
Because he was secretly on their
Yeah.
side. Maybe he's going to be one of those characters that's like, I was secretly on their side, but I was secretly on your side.
Triple agent.
Triple agent. This show is fucking fantastic.
And also, can we talk about the Dr. Manhattan dildo?
All right, let's get there.
What?
She opens up a briefcase and pulls out a big blue dildo.
And she is just like touching the shaft of this huge blue dildo. Like,
And then
I'm
she
going to
fucks the,
fucking
like,
shove this in my
skinny-legged
butt.
partner.
The guy, he was in The Magicians.
Oh, yeah, the magician's guy. That's
he was
right.
the ghost. He's like that ghost.
I feel like there's a lot of like, I feel like last year was the age of the twink with like Tom Holland and other people. I feel like this year is the age of the lanky guy.
What do you call them?
Like, I don't know. What do you call me
That's
and us?
me. I was like, that's me too.
It's me. It's me too.
Yeah, the Shaggies.
The giraffes.
The Shaggy from Scooby-Doo's.
Yeah. The Zoinks.
Zoinks!
That's a good name.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the age of the Zoinks. Whoa, Scoob.
Oh, the acid's hitting. I'm tripping my balls off.
And we've taken it back to Matthew Lillard. I love it.
It's gonna be good, Sydney. If I die, I want a TV dropped on my face. Anyway.
Yeah. Me too.
I love The Watchmen. Although people are
Watchmen's fantastic.
really going off on it. People are really, this is the thing where it's like, people are like, there's no racism, but people are so angry.
You know why? Here's why. Because Watchmen was accidentally and mistakenly usurped by the whole like alt-right Joker fan people. Yep. And the point of it was to hate it and be horrified by it. But everyone, all the Joker people were like, oh, Rorschach's so cool. And now we're like, oh, the Watchmen are so cool. And then we got that Zack Snyder movie. And Damon Lindelof, God bless him, is like, no, this is how you were supposed to see Watchmen.
Yeah.
Like, it is very much supposed to be a show about a woke culture that bothers you so much. Like, this is Watchmen, you fucks. You misinterpreted it, and it was never yours.
Yeah, basic. Stop it. You're over.
Yeah, basic.
Oh my God!
I can't wait for Night Owl's appearance because he's the only missing piece.
He's in prison.
Wait, but no, the other missing piece is it turns out Ozymandias is like is trapped there.
Oh, right. Do we think what do we think about Ozymandias? So he's trapped in some sort of prison world?
Yeah, because of that dude on the hill that like shot at him, right?
And then he wrote that letter being like, I know my it's like you broke the rules of your captivity.
But it's like, it's super fun. But like Ozymandias is like a game to him. He's like, all right, type another letter.
I know, but that's where I'm curious of like, do you think, is this the government doing this? But then he was never caught.
I heard that he's on Mars. I heard that he is on Mars. There's a theory saying he's on
Mars. But why would not
Manhattan is like...
But why would Manhattan trap him on Mars?
Because he's Ozymandias.
Because Manhattan was essentially like not on his side, but
you're beneath me.
No, but that's the thing is the only person that really knows that he's the bad guy is Dr. Manhattan, Owl, and Silk Spectre, right? They're the only ones that know he's bad.
Mrs. Crookshanks.
I love that. I almost wish you didn't tell me because then it would have been more surprising.
It's the best, but also... Jeremy Irons' body looks really good.
He's got a good bod. He's got some pecs going on.
Bod.
Also,
like, I wish I had that flat tummy still.
Can we talk about the dick on the clone guy?
Oh, yes, we can.
They had his blue. He's a shower.
That shit blue.
He was a shower, not a grower. I think it's like if you're gonna have your full dick and balls on screen on HBO for everyone to see, how much fluffing, because that's the thing is you can't make it erect, but you don't just want to like get out of the pool. You know what I mean?
No, but you want it to be like hanging there. Like you don't want it to.
That's what I mean. So I'm just wondering like how many tugs do you need? It's like the owl from the Tootsie Pop commercial.
1, 2, 3.
How many tugs to make your dick look TV ready?
That dude called action. He told them when
he was like action ready.
Yeah.
He's
1,
like,
2, 3. Oh, I've never been here before. A 4 and a 5. Action.
Oh.
So we have a very special opportunity here in that we've got a straight person in the studio with us.
Are you the first straight person on the show?
No.
Well, we've had Christina
guests.
Strain.
Oh, okay.
We've had Christina
Strain. We had, what's his name? Fabrice.
We had Fabrice. So we've done this before. But we've never really asked a straight person like what it's like to read comics. Like, could you imagine being straight and reading comics?
I know, because do you just automatically think like, oh, I'm the problem?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
let's dive into that. So I'm going to ask
It's
Steve.
like,
So
I'm a
Steve-
straight white male who likes nerdy comic book
Right.
stuff. I'm the enemy.
Steve, first question, Steve. Are you the problem?
Yeah, no, 100%. We are the problem. No, and I'm actually grateful for comics and for shows like these because, like, X-Men isn't for straight people, and I acknowledge that, and I think it's great because it's just like we are 100% the problem.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first, and I think being able to like come to terms with that and like understand the other side's point and how much better it is has just like I don't know. I
But
feel
here,
like a better
you,
person
now
because
you
of it.
say you're on our side, but listen to this. People that aren't on our side, they might not necessarily know you're not on their side. So have you ever had other like straight incel-y comic book people be like, yeah, right, isn't that fucking bullshit? What they like, do they ever think you're like on their side? And then you have to be like, dude, shut up.
I have, and I have immediately checked out. For people who think that X-Men are too horny, you just have to stop talking to them because you're like, this conversation is not going to go anywhere. I think it's just like it's the people who still are in love with '90s Wolverine animated TV show. You know what I mean? It's
the animated series fucks.
Yeah, it's the guys who don't want to grow with it. They just want to remember what was so badass when they were on the Jungle Gym.
Which is
Demanding to be Wolverine.
literally conservative.
But here's the thing. It sounds like, do you hate Wolverine?
No. I don't hate Wolverine. I just don't think he is like top tier in terms of like.
How do you feel about now that Wolverine and Cyclops are in a throuple with Jean Grey? How do you feel about that?
I'm into it. I'm
and
more
do you
for-
think that? Because it's been subtextual.
Oh my god, it has been way more than subtextual. I mean, like, I do think that they are a throuple based on the graph, based on that panel, based on all of the conversation. But I am more Team Scott than I am Team Logan.
Okay.
You heard it here first, folks.
And you know, it's the same straight dudes who love Jared Leto Joker. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like it's dudes who are engaging with a different part of it because
It's
they
dudes
don't
that
want
like
to admit.
Jared Leto, period.
Yeah. So I appreciate comics for that, of just giving me different insight into a world that I am not a part of, and also a straight white dude is a problem about. I acknowledge that 100%.
All right, we forgive you. Okay. We're gonna let you off the hook.
We forgive you
for the rest of the episode.
That's what this show has been leading up to. We forgive you, straight people. We forgive you.
What else do you have questions about, Brett?
So as a straight person, who are your top 5 favorite X-Men?
Ooh,
that's Scott.
We have Scott. We have Kurt.
Kurt is Nightcrawler.
Yes. Storm.
Storm is Aurora.
I really love Dazzler. You and I always talk about that.
You heard it here first, you guys. Straight
Only
people
the
like
gays
Dazzler
can like
too. I think I have caused. I think if Steve wasn't good friends with me, he wouldn't like Dazzler.
No, I think you're right. And then 5th, man, Sam is up there. Is he my
Cannonball?
5th? Yeah. I just love his southern charm, and I love, the whole concept of how fucking ridiculous his power is. And I love his friendship with Sunspot. But Quentin, I think Quentin would be my 5th.
Quentin number 5.
Yeah.
Quentin Quire.
Just him wearing a Magneto was right t-shirt.
Wait a minute. I just
cover it was.
thought of something. Quentin is part of X-Force. Maybe he's the one that reinstates Xavier.
We were talking about that. Brett and I were talking about that before. But you said that Jean was probably base.
No, I think it's Quentin. I think it's Jean bringing Quentin in, maybe.
Oh, to help.
To do it.
Yeah, to bring Xavier.
Because they're both Omega level telepaths.
Omega.
But he's not Omega level. Neither of them are Omega level telekinetics.
That's Exodus.
Have they ever done Jean versus Quentin? Do we know who would win that?
That no adult Jean has never had any interaction with him since. I mean, the only interaction she had was when he was the student before he was powerful.
When he rioted.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them go head to head.
Oh, they're about to.
I would love that.
They're about to. Amazing that straight people like Dazzler and Quentin Quire too.
Well, like who wouldn't want Dazzler's power to convert sound into light energy? That would be amazing.
And to make it look so stupid in a movie like Dark Phoenix did.
And her outfit is badass.
It was only until the Australia years that she actually could use it as lasers as a weapon. All before that, it was just lights, and she could hypnotize people.
Yeah, she dazzled you.
Wait, was Australian years when Jubilee was coming into the fold?
Yeah.
At the tail end,
Yeah,
they
the very
introduced
end
her. Yeah.
Is that why they had to adapt Dazzler's power?
No, because she was never an X-Man. She appeared in the X-Men, but she never joined the X-Men. And when she finally joined the X-Men, then literally it was now that I know, there's a line in 216 or something when they're battling Malice, and she's like, now that I know how to make solid photon blasts, I can break that road. She literally says this is a new aspect of my powers.
Now that I'm more than fireworks, you stupid young bitch.
Because that's where it started, with her using her hand like a gun and shooting the lasers. She never did that before that. I love that.
Yeah. So good.
Oh, I forgot to say, Hank McCoy is an honorable mention only for
Steve loves Beast.
No, and here's why. Here's why.
Beast. It's oh my stars.
No, and I understand.
Anyone says oh my stars and garters needs to be killed.
When Uatu appears before Beast and says, Beast, what is this? He's like, you're a disgrace.
You disgust me.
disgust
I think he even spits.
I think that is when I fell in love with Beast.
Wait, who says that to him?
Uatu.
The Watcher.
The Watcher. When he brings back all the original X-Men, and he just causes all these problems.
It's like, you piece of shit.
Yeah. I for whatever reason, I fell in love with Beast at that panel. Because I was just like, yeah, he has always been a goddamn nightmare, but has put on this facade of just I'm this witty, intellectual. And part of me is just aren't we all like that? We're all a mess.
Are we all pieces of shit?
We're all pieces of shit.
I agree.
Gays, straights, we're all pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And on that note.
We're all a piece of shit. And the world,
we're all pieces of shit.
The world is going to hell in a handbasket. But you know what? As the flames of America burn the flag to dust, and we rise to a new power of polluted world that's going to come to an end, at least we can.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the real world right now. The world's coming to an end, bitch. But you know what? Who cares? Because we have this new run of the X-Men to read.
Yeah, I love it. Thank God.
As the world is being flooded and the bombs are dropping, I'm like, ooh, look what's happening with Storm.
And thank God. And you know what? If you are one of those people that is looking at the world burn around you, but is still only focused on what's going on with Storm, well, that makes you a queer. Except for Steve, who's straight. Say bye, Steve.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for being on the show.